Behold the voice of God.
For those of you who don't know me officially, my name is Amanda Waller. There's an event in Midway City. I want you to enter the city, rescue HVT-1, and get them to safety.
I'm sorry, for those of us who don't speak good guy, what is HVT-1?
The only person that matters in the city, the one person you can't kill. Complete the mission, you get time off your prison sentence. Fail the mission, you die. Anything happens to Colonel Flagg, I'll kill every single one of you. Remember, I'm watching. I see everything.
How much did you guys both know about the DC universe and your characters before you took on the film? So what kind of research did you do to prepare? Did you read the original comic books and stuff?
Read a few, yeah, got into that a bit. I mean, that was kind of, honestly, as far as like getting into Captain Boomerang and the world of this team, it was really just looking at a bit of that original material and kind of cherry picking some stuff that was sort of applied to the version that we were putting on the screen. And I needed to ditch quite a bit of that early setup of Boomerang because he's like quite blatantly racist and frankly looks like a 1940s airline stewardess in some of the comic books. So there were things that I was happy to abandon for this.
I wish you went
this
with
adaptation.
that, actually.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
It would have worked.
Wouldn't have worked.
He would have worked it.
Wouldn't have worked
that
it.
Stewardess.
It wasn't gonna happen.
You know, I was familiar with, obviously, the more traditional DC icons, Batman, Superman, Joker. But these are some of the more obscure supervillains of the DC world. And I really didn't have much knowledge of Killer Croc. But when David Ayers approached me and I did my research, I was really taken by what I considered like a poetically tragic backstory of Killer Croc, or Waylon Jones, who he was formerly before he transformed into this cannibalistic crocodile man. And I thought the fact that there was a before and after was really interesting, and the fact that it was quite tragic. He's one of those villains that actually didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but was reviled and ridiculed because of the way he looked, which was kind of akin to some of the older, icons of Frankenstein. And I thought it was great, and you could use that, when you're creating.
You're late.
Yogata.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet ya. Love your perfume. What is that? The scent of death?
What was David like to work with as a director?
Yeah, I mean, David just knows how to cater towards every actor. So I think that some of us got a very different direction from what's been picked up by media recently. I know that he was very harsh with Joel, but for me, he was very supportive and always nice. And some of the commentary that he gave me was something that I delved into, but it was never shocking,
He's just really clever with that, and I think it's part of his process from the beginning is, creating an environment that helps an actor maintain a certain space for where they need to be within that role. But in saying that, he's not reckless and kind of, it's not all about his process. If something isn't working, then he has the sort of the smarts to adjust that, and he's not this sort of tyrant at all. He ran a really cool pre-production boot camp, which consisted of weights training and martial arts training and weapons work, and we'd be sparring each other one minute and then in the rehearsal room the next, and jamming on the scenes and improvising stuff and talking about life experience, and it really galvanized the group, and we sort of became this squad without even trying, just through showing up and wanting to do a good job as members of his cast, for him. And I think that's where the squad was really kind of birthed, and we were able to sort of carry that mentality onto the set and let it bleed onto the screen, I think.
Here's to honor among thieves.
Not a thief.
She's not a thief. Well, we almost pulled it off, despite what everybody thought. Worst part of it is they're gonna blame us for the whole thing. And they can't have people knowing the truth. We're the patsies, the cover-up. Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
Out of everybody, it seems like you had the most to do in terms of makeup and costume. That must have taken a lot of work. How long did that take to put together every day?
It took, it varied, like, for instance, if on the angle we were shooting, but the minimum was 3 hours, but it pretty much 5 hours was the maximum when we did the full body.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no easy way around that. But I think probably just as challenging as the makeup application was performing in it, because obviously once you get it on and it's glued to you, you still got to perform fighting it. And I think we did something that was really interesting. Again, homage to the old movies, like the old Tarzan movies, and we actually had myself in the prosthetics go into a 40-foot tank and submerge myself for 60-second increments, holding my breath and fighting in prosthetics underwater. And you know, it sounds insane, but that's what we did. And it was great. I mean, I was really up for it, because if you're gonna go through that long process, you wanna use that costume, and we did.
It does seem like it was a lot of fun to make. I mean, there are some big action sequences and set pieces and stuff. I mean, what was the most challenging kind of scene for you both to film?
I would say the sort of the final sequence is probably the most challenging and
The most physical.
yeah. It's a hugely physical sequence, and it all exists in front of high pressure, freezing cold water jets, basically. That you know, I mean, no one did it tougher than Margot, who's
in no clothing and heels.
Yeah, and so but we were getting pummeled with water for literally a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And it was it was interesting.
Come on, Quentin! Do it!
Oh, we have got company.
Betsy, Betsy, Betsy. Stupid bats, you're ruining date night!
What was your take on Jared Leto's kind of take of the version of the Joker? Because apparently he stayed in character quite a lot on set. Is that right?
Yeah, I think from the onset, you know, that's Jared's method, and that's what he did. And I mean, it's you know, the courage to step into those shoes right from Cesar Romero, you know, obviously the new incarnations, more recent incarnations of it. It's a big thing to take on, but I think he took it on and he did his own thing with it. People are always going to have opinions, but you know, I've always loved Jared, and I've known him a while, and I think he did an amazing job, both his and David's vision. And the interesting thing is, it literally just sets it up, so we don't even know what's to come. You know, and I think it's a great setup for what's to come.
Do you see there being a sequel with the squad all together, or do you think it'll...
Oh, definitely.
Would you both kind of be
I
interested?
think I can't see them busting up the squad just yet. I think it's a little premature, but who knows? I mean, that's the great thing about this you know, this world, this property with DC, and the potential to kind of, you know, cross-contaminate and allow characters to pop up in other you know, under other titles, and I, you know, I'm sure we'd all like to reprise our roles in the future with this franchise or with another.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Nothing really matters.